All relationships are not created equal. In fact, it becomes painfully obvious when it's time to end them. See, healthy relationships end peacefully, amicably, and there's mutual respect for one another. You wish the best for each other and you go your separate ways. But when you are in a relationship with a narcissist, it is toxic. It is painful. It is not your average breakup. Hey guys, my name is Sherry. I'm your favorite prophetic mentor and coach. And today we're going to be talking about what to expect when you're ready to put your foot down, when you're ready to call it quits, when you're ready to break up with the narcissist. See, narcissists don't experience grief in a traditional sense, but they do exhibit behaviors that mimic those stages of grief. And it's because they're losing you. It's because they've lost their narcissistic supply. It is because they're losing control over you, over the relationship, over the narrative, over the fake false story that they've tried to create for themselves and for everyone around them. See, their responses are uniquely destructive, but understanding these stages are going to prepare us for what's about to go down. So let's get into it. Now, before we dive into these stages, I want to make it absolutely crystal clear that not all narcissists are the same, and your safety comes first. There are some narcissists that you absolutely cannot tell that you're leaving. There are narcissists who are extremely dangerous, and you have to have a strategic plan in place. Maybe you leave while they're at work, or you leave while they're away. Whatever it is, you have to have a plan in place. But then there are narcissists where you can actually have a conversation with. You can tell them that you're ready to end the relationship. You can put your foot down and say, look, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm done. It's over. You can say these things. And don't get me wrong, they're not gonna like it. There's still some toxicity there. It's still gonna be very ridiculous. But you're not in physical immediate danger, is what I'm saying. And if you're unsure, use discernment. You know, one of the best ways to predict the future is to study the past. How has this person acted in the past? When they didn't get their way, how do they respond to that? You know, do they throw rage fits? Do they throw items? Do you feel like you're physically in harm's way? You know, really reassess how they've responded in the past with you when they didn't get their way. So the first stage is denial. They cannot fathom that you would even fix your mouth to tell them that you are ready to leave them. Because in their minds, they are the prize. They are the catch, right? How dare you think that you could even possibly want to leave them? How dare you break up with me first? They literally will be in denial. They will still be making plans as if nothing has happened. They will still be going about normal life, normal day to day, like nothing has happened. They may even laugh at you for even suggesting that you are wanting to leave them. They'll ignore you, or they'll bring up things from your past like, oh, you remember you were mad like this before. You were mad like this before, just like last time. Oh, you're just doing it again. You're just doing it again. They will literally be in denial because they really don't think you're gonna leave them. They absolutely don't think you're gonna leave them. And honestly, this is one of the most frustrating stages because you feel like you're not being heard. You feel like you're not being taken seriously. But their inability to accept your decision is really not your fault. They're escaping reality as much as they can. And if they want to live in denial, let them live in denial. All right, stage 2. Once you start setting boundaries, you start pulling back your energy, you start emotionally detaching, it's really starting to sink in with the narcissist. And unfortunately, this is what triggers rage within them. So they get angry. This is the second stage, anger. That narcissistic rage is a whole different beast. They feel abandoned, they feel betrayed, and most importantly, they feel powerless. Remember, the narcissist is about control and power, and you're taking this away. And because they're not emotionally intelligent, they don't really know how to control themselves in this moment. Their rage takes on different forms. In fact, sometimes it even alternates between rage and begging. Rage and begging. You may find them showing up to your job unannounced. You may hear of them talking to your friends, your family about the situation, trying to get everybody involved. They may even reach out to the pastor at church. They may even reach out to your parents. I mean, it gets a little ridiculous because they don't know how to deal with their emotions. And the best thing for us to do is to stand our ground. In Ephesians 6, we're reminded that we do not wrestle with flesh and blood, but we are wrestling with spiritual forces in high places. So you have to put on the full armor of God if you're gonna stand up to this rage that the narcissist is literally trying to use to destabilize you. We don't respond to verbal attacks. We don't respond to blame shifting. We don't respond to intimidation. You know, I know it's hard, but once you can recognize, or once you're even aware, right? You're like, oh, you doing that? It's like, don't take the bait, sis. Don't take the bait. They acting out. Let them act out, you know? Then they start easing into the bargaining stage where they're like, wait a minute, this girl is for real. She really about to leave me. And they really act like a little baby, okay, in this stage. This is a stage where they plead and they bargain with you and they tell you they're going to therapy and they're wanting to do whatever they have to do to make it work. And, you know, they're just ready to comply now. You start hearing things like, I can't live without you. That was so like surfer-ish, just saying. But they start saying stuff like, what am I gonna do without you? Oh my God. They may even say things like, look at how many years we've been together and you want to just throw this all away. And it may seem very genuine. It may seem very real in the moment. But the truth is that words are words, right? We don't listen to empty words. We look at fruit. We look at the character. Have they, you know, submitted their life to Christ? Have they made radical changes for improvement? It's all going to be in the fruit. Now, the next stage is kind of weird. And I say this because it kind of puts you in a vulnerable place, in a place where you almost want to second guess your decision. You want to maybe retract, pull back, or even just disregard the whole thing altogether. And this is when they start getting into a deep depression, right? But this is a stage that I will say is not true. It's not real. It's really to evoke sympathy from you. This is when they start saying things like, I don't know how I'm going to go on without you. You're all I know. And you're all I ever really wanted. They may cry. They may isolate themselves. They may drink a little bit more than they usually do. They may threaten to harm themselves. I mean, it really does put you in a very just vulnerable place. And you feel like you have to pull back everything that you decided to do. It makes you want to cancel all of your plans. It makes you want to save them. I talked about that. I talked about that same topic right there. It is not our job to save anyone. That is a job for Jesus. So not only do you need to stand firm when they start raging and crashing out, you need to stand firm when they start pulling on your heartstrings, right? When they start bringing on these theatrical tears and just putting on a emotional show, right? You may have never seen them cry before, but now all of a sudden they're literally breaking down and you're almost like, oh my gosh, where was this before? Like, what is this? You know? But anyway, stand firm, stand your ground, you know? Don't get sucked into this. It's all a part of the game. And if you can stand your ground, the narcissist does come to a place of acceptance. It's not true acceptance, but it is acknowledging that they no longer have control over you. It's accepting that their tactics will no longer work on you. And instead of true acceptance, I'm sorry, my friend, it is now turned into revenge. Now that they've accepted that you no longer want to be with them anymore, they have to protect their image. And they do this in multiple ways. They will launch a smear campaign on you where they will spread lies about you to your friends, your family, your colleagues. They will do whatever they have to do to ruin your reputation. And because they're sick and twisted, they will start sending you messages and sending you pictures and sharing memories that you both have, you know, throughout the years. I mean, they literally will do the most. Okay, like they will have you so emotionally spent, you will literally be like, your mind will be like this. they will flaunt a new source of supply all in your face. What is supply? Supply is energy, right? From a person, place, or thing. And I honestly feel like, I'm gonna just say this. Most narcissists, I'm not gonna say all, but most narcissists usually have someone that they're already grooming, right? So if they can sense that you are pulling away from them, if they sense that you no longer want to be with them, once they come to the realization that you are for real, they're already grooming that next person. They already have a backup source. And that new person that they're flaunting in front of you, they know a lot about you. They're going to know a lot about you. Why? Because the narcissist has to paint you as the villain in their story. So let them flaunt the new source of supply. Let them parade around town with their new boo, okay? Because why? Because we're sticking to the plan. We don't care. We know what time it is. We know what we're dealing with. If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck. If it walks like a narcissist, if it quacks like a narcissist, it's a narc. Let the fruit. Let them show you. They're revealing to you who they truly are if they're truly acting in these ways. Why? Because narcissism is a spirit. They all kind of do the same thing. It's a Jezebel spirit, which is why I say leaving a relationship with a narcissist is more than just ending a relationship. This is a spiritual and emotional battle with Jezebel, the spirit of Jezebel. This is a spirit that operates through control, manipulation, and domination, which is why traditional relationship advice is not going to work here. We have to go to the source. We have to go to the Bible to figure out what this is. Narcissists are operating in the spirit of Jezebel. So as you detach from the spirit, you will experience moments of grief. You will experience moments of doubt. And you will experience moments of just complete depletion where it will just take everything out of you. It will feel like it's taking everything out of you. But remember this, that the same God who parted the Red Sea, who brought down the walls of Jericho, and who closed the mouths of lions is the same God who is with you right now. And don't forget that you were designed for freedom. You were designed for the abundant life. You were designed to bloom abundantly. You were not designed to be in a trauma bond. And as you pull away, as you detach, I pray that this trauma bond breaks now in Jesus' name.